The brawl of champions is almost over. Push your champion over the top.
Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back with another recording of Hearthstone. Starting a little late because of, well, just a general embracing of sleeping in and oversleeping these days. Let's see, let's re-roll this. We've got Tavern Brawls. It's a good thing. We'll have to play as Priest or Warlock at some point. Although I could leave this alone and just get these two done and save something for Friday. It's a good thing we got the all the news covered Monday, because we've got a decent amount of news today also. Let's see. It all ends here. Which champion shall stand victorious? Choose a troll champion and you get the strongest shrines yet. This really, as a Tavern Brawl, seems like it's just kind of forcing everybody who does Tavern Brawl to do the solo experience anyways. Like, it's making it impossible for you to miss that content and reusing that content. I thought this would have played a lot differently. If you were going to do this legitimately, I probably should have been knocked out of the competition in the first week on my first loss and not been allowed to play 3 games. But as it stands here, you just get to go forward and pretend like you won even if you didn't win. Even people who didn't even get a single victory in the last 2 weeks, I imagine, are still allowed to play this Tavern Brawl. So we'll be doing these top 3 for the Americas account, these 3 for the European account, and these 3 for the Asian account, just for simplicity's sake, and that'll be that. We need to play 3 games and win 1 game. Pretty easy. So while this is happening, we'll try and burn through all of the news as much as possible.
This time, promise.
There's a lot of little stories, a lot of notifications of release dates, a lot of things that if I spent the extra time would have been filtered out. So there's some stuff here I think I'm just gonna mention, and then we're gonna just move on without saying anything. Interesting. Well, that was a quick victory. Okay. Let's try that again, since that was really slow. I mean, really fast. Wow, YouTube Gaming tweeted. I don't think I've seen YouTube Gaming tweet anything in a couple of weeks. Maybe they have been tweeting and just nothing they've said has been important. That is very, very possible. But yeah, it's just not something. I haven't seen him say anything important. So our first bit of news, we have a Tech Raptor article. New Dr. Seuss development studio announced, called BB Takes Flight. So the question here, and apparently this is the author, Dr. Seuss's 115th birthday, or would be. He's, I don't believe, alive. Let's see. What does our shrine do, by the way? Minions attack is always equal to your armor. At the start of your turn, steal a card from your opponent's deck. Okay. I'm not sure what kind of Dr. Seuss games could really come out. Like, you're going with a Dr. Seuss audience. You're going for parents with nostalgia of Dr. Seuss, really, who want to expose their kids to to Dr. Seuss and think that the stories are particularly educational. I suppose that they are slightly educational, but there might be better stories out there. And in general, if you think about this, the Dr. Seuss style of writing is a very silly, rhymey stories, when it very possibly would be smarter to have what am I trying to say? It might be better to just read stories that are above what a early childhood reader should be at to them. Like, so what would I say? Like, Goodnight Moon is probably on the same level. I don't know. See, that's the thing is, I'm certainly no expert in childhood stories and books, so maybe there hasn't been anything new that's better than what already exists. So maybe Dr. Seuss still is the gold standard, or possibly it's the exact opposite, and Dr. Seuss's made up words and silly stories with themes that are likely to go over the head of many of the kids. That is a problem, I would say, with a lot of kids' books, is that there are themes in there for the parents, and then the parents enjoy the books, but I'm not sure the kids are being as well served as they could be. But heck, in the long run, reading anything is an interesting idea, but I don't know how you turn that into a video game unless it's just like interactive books, which I think have already kind of existed. You really wouldn't get me interested in playing a Dr. Seuss based video game, even if it promised to have like all the Dr. Seuss stories in one game, so it was really big and long, and it was kind of like a Kingdom Hearts style game, and it was, I mean, I just don't see how you're gonna convince anyone over the age of even 6 to want to play Dr. Seuss games. I have often said that there aren't enough kids games out there, particularly on PC, so this might fill in that gap, but I don't know how you make a good game out of that. Honestly, you really have to take the base of the idea and just continue to expand and expand until you have a full story. And there's better story, frankly, in video games than there are in any random Dr. Seuss story, just because it's longer. Whenever a minion takes damage, gain attack. Whenever a minion takes damage, gain attack. Alright. Raptor mentions here that the last Dr. Seuss game was Dr. Seuss How the Grinch Stole Christmas in 2007 for the Nintendo DS. So they sorta, if it needed to get back in the water, it's been quite a while since the DS was a viable platform, and I kind of feel like they're gonna make cell phone games. That would be the right move. That's the best as I could figure what you would want to do with that is make something. Unless they just go crazy and it's some like battle royale with Dr. Seuss characters, and that would be silly. And that would be a joke game you'd play for like 5 minutes, not something you would want to actually play. Let's see.
Flesh fails. Try crystal.
Alright, this guy. Can we do both? 5 armor or 4 armor? 5 armor with less. And then more armor. And then some armor. And
I strike.
that. There we go. And do I have anything I can kill here?
Here's my
I can
solo.
kill that for free. And attack there. Next we have a troll game on Steam called Pricer RPG or Price RPG. It looks like garbage. When I was watching the video of it, it seemed to have something to do with just being trollish, a lot of trollish phrases. It's $7.99 discounted for what looks like MS Paint graphics, so obviously it's not going to be on the follow list. I guess I can say right now, as I kind of predicted, which is easy to predict certainly, the Humble Bundle came out with a Humble Neptunia bundle, Neptunia being the anime characters representing different video game companies and consoles in an RPG fashion usually. If anybody wanted to buy that bundle for $12, which is the top tier, and then send those Steam keys to me through a direct message on Twitter, that would be very much appreciated and a great way to support this channel. Also, you get to support your charity of choice while purchasing it if you go through all the options when you're buying it. So, otherwise, closer to the end of the bundle, I'm going to buy it for myself. Now, with the Neptunia games, some of them have some bits of implied nudity or total nudity, I'm not even sure. So, they may not be ever family friendly. So, and they still kind of would be on the list of, are these the JRPGs that I should play, or should I perhaps still think about playing some other JRPGs? So these kind of are purchases just because I want to own them and I want to support adult JRPG games in their existence. They may not actually equate into actual footage. Let's do this.
So many obliteration.
Let's see.
Here's my solo.
What am I trying to do? Let's kill this first. That'll save me some damage. It is also worth mentioning with the Humble Bundle, Neptunia Bundle, is that there was a tease for a new Neptunia announcement. So it very possibly could be that they announce, oh, we're going to remaster all of these games, which would be a lot of games in that bundle. That's like 7 different games. So unless they're going to make some kind of bundle that was cheaper than $12 that included all those games or remasters or something, It's a little risky. I don't think it's incredibly risky though. Let's see. Deal 1 damage for each armor you have. For each armor you have. But your opponent's turn, gain 6 armor. So all I can really do is do that. And then
I have
that and that. And I think I'm gonna lose, but that's fine. We played a full game here. We saw what it was all about. We can move on to the next guy. Moving on with news stories, Gematsu has an article. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel for the PS4 launches March 26th in North America. I believe that is also a JRPG. We can do a little bit of spotlight. You have an anime girl with a arrow. I imagine that's an attack animation. This thumbnail for this video is probably more accurate along the lines of what the game is about. I could watch the trailer, I suppose, but I generally, I think, know what it is. It has to do with trains of some way. It's a JRPG. It's rated T for teen. It seems like they're fighting people and monsters in the trailers. I'm skipping around. They have like swords and bows. Nothing highly magical. There's a fishing mini game.
This time, promise.
Swords and bows and arrows type things, yeah. So if that's rated T for teen and that comes out for PC, then that might be something to think about. It has another JRPG. Let's see. It came out for PS4. I'm not sure if it is PC. Nope, this is just labeled PlayStation 4. Oh, well, there is a PC edition of this, so I probably need to do a little bit of research and make sure that that's on at least the follow list. And I'll do that later. Taunt, battle cry, taunt, battle cry. Your battle cry's trick an additional 2 times.
That didn't go as
So I don't know if playing 2 of these in a row will actually cause me to burn a card. Let's see, deal 2 damage, 1 damage to all minions. Yeah, I don't see a reason to do that. Let's see. Gamma Sutra has an article, and this is a quick one we can jump right over. The duo behind the Running Man challenge are suing Epic over a Fortnite dance. In this one, they claimed that the Epic was exploiting the efforts of, I guess, African American people, and specifically, that being said, this is all that same story and that same lawyer catching as many people as possible to sue Epic, even though it's pretty obvious this lawsuit will not stand up in a court of law. It is being only done in a hope of ooh, interesting. Did I just like super buff all of my minions? I think I may have. It's the same story over and over again. You cannot copyright a dance. It is not a long piece of choreography. can't trademark the name of a dance. Probably. Maybe you could. Like, you could probably get something that's trademarkable into the name of a dance. So, if it was called, like, let's see. Well, this is... what are the names of these people? Yeah, it's not even getting mentioned. If it was Coca-Cola's Running Man dance, for instance, Coca-Cola's a good example, then the trademark of the phrase Coca-Cola might work. 1 damage all enemy minions. Let's see.
Not bad for a landlubber.
On the turn. So yeah, we can move forward from that because this will just keep happening until it goes to either a lawsuit or the lawyers give up. This is let's see, battle cry, shuffle 3 cards into your D. If I could play the darkness, that would be really nice. There we go, we'll play that. And then 1 damage to all minions. This guy's a 9/9. Then in return, give a random minion +1/+1.
Blood will flow.
Moving on, Gamatsu has an article. Resident Evil 2 shipments top 4 million. The entire Resident Evil franchise is now topping 90 million games or units sold, I guess. So, yeah, Resident Evil is still being successful. I'm gonna lose if I'm not careful here. Alright, we do this. And then...
Not bad for a landlubber.
There we go. Do that. Need to be a little bit protective here, so I'm gonna kill that. Gamatsu has an article, Zoid's Wild King of the Beast Fang Tiger trailer. I just wanted to point this out. I mean, this is early hype train stuff, but it is rather surprising to me that there's potentially a new Zoids game and a new Monster Farmer, Monster Rancher game coming out potentially, at least in Japan. So this game, Zoid's Wild King of the Beast, is there. I lost. Coming out on February 28th in Japan. I can skip through the trailer. It's probably not that impressive a game or interesting, and it doesn't look familiar enough to me. Like, I'm not familiar with Zoids, so maybe these characters are characters that I would recognize, but I don't think so. I think they're going like a whole new generation and a whole nother direction with new characters. The only thing that'll stay the same are the Zoids. Play this one just for consistency's sake, otherwise we won't ever play it. Let's see.
Hooktask versus Talonji.
Next we have a game on Steam called Moe Ninja Girls, if ever you needed to spell Moe. So this is a free-to-play visual novel type game, and it's got 2 videos going on in it. But you can see it's already mixed, so the quality must not be very good. It has like in-app purchases and single player. I don't think visual novels are going down that route. Like, I really doubt we are going to see visual novels become free to play, because there's a lot of work and writing that goes into it, and often it's from somebody who's only really good about it. So there's a lot of Japanese people that are upset they can't play it in Japan, and here's something that says it potentially was a Facebook visual novel. And that it was a mobile game. So there's this looks low quality. Also, it says it only supports English, which seems crazy. Like, you're missing the target audience quite a bit there to make a visual novel that is English only. And there's a lot of polish visually here. This is not really a low effort development. It doesn't look like these are stolen assets. It looks consistent. So I don't know what happened that you would come from that approach. Like, honestly, I seriously doubt that there's enough visual novel anime fans in the English-speaking world to justify sales solely from that source. What does this one do? Death rolls trigger 2 additional times? Interesting. Yeah, this does not look bad in any way. It's just strange that you would miss your audience. That's really what it comes down to, is you've missed the default audience. Like, don't get me wrong, I love when visual novels can be played in English, but by default they should be Japanese. And thus, that is why that game is getting negative reviewed, and thus it doesn't need to be put on the default list, even if you're getting negative reviews this early. Also, it's a free-to-play game, so it wouldn't have made it to the list anyways. Let's see. Next, we have a game on Steam called Tessas Ark, which looks like it's half puzzle game, half visual novel game, but it says it's an RPG. There's a bunch of numbers here, and I don't know what that really breaks down into. Like, it definitely has a weird art style to it, so there might be something here. It's $4.99 in English only, rated T for teen. Let's see. 9 achievements. It's a decent amount of achievements, might be a little low. Let's see. Solve a series of ever-evolving puzzles to navigate through the digital world. Visual novel style presentation. Perception is malleable. Not every threat is as it seems. Just don't save the world. Decide if it exists at all. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of willing to put that on the fall list. It's very possibly one of these games that does not actually go anywhere. Just play. Like, I could see nobody ever playing that game and it never getting any reviews, and a year later I'm just gonna remove it from the follow list. I probably need to do some cleanup. I said that last recording, but yeah, it's starting to feel really important to hope that Steam will do a sale, and that'll give me an excuse to do some cleanup on the follow list, because it's gonna have to be every 3 months. I think. Moving on, and we'll have many stories here that are going to say the same thing. Do this. GameIndustry.biz has an article, Overkill's The Walking Dead officially cancelled. Update 505 Games issues statement, still calls the console version of the game, quote, postponed. The original story here is, today Skybound Entertainment has announced that it has terminated its contract with Starbreeze Studios, effectively cancelling Overkill's The Walking Dead. Now, Skybound Entertainment, I know, is the holding company of the Walking Dead series. They're the ones who bought the rights to the Telltale Walking Dead series and then released it as an exclusive on the Epic Store. So Starbreeze Studios, either, I'm a little iffy on that one. I may have to look up them and see if they've done anything. Repeat for each of my pirates.
My mother does love this face.
I want to get a bunch of pirates on the field. That's about as best as I can do. Let's see if this article mentions Starbreeze.
My echoes are eternal.
Let's see. It says, all in all, it's been a terrible several months for Starbreeze, which, with the first season of Overkill's The Walking Dead doing little to help its precarious situation. The game brought in $3.7 million in revenue for quarter 4, and the publisher was forced to cut the price of the game from 60 to 30 as a result of poor sales performance. Darn it. Let's kill that one. That combined with the previous rough financials forced the company to cut costs in November last year, with the company eventually facing insolvency in early December. The Starbreeze, the one that's kind of going bankrupt but not really. Overkill's The Walking Dead is expected to be removed from Steam following a complaint issued by the license holder Skybound. Okay. Can I do more than this? Nope. We're gonna lose. And this statement, the GameIndustry.biz 505 Games acknowledged the contract termination. That's update 2. So let's just search Starbreeze Studios. On Wikipedia and see what games they've made, because I know the name has come up, but yeah, in 2000 they made the Outforce, Enclave, Knights of the Temple, Infernal Crusade, The Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. That was good. They made the game The Darkness for 2K Games, The Chronicles of Riddick, Assault on Dark Athena. That's like 3 good games. Syndicate, and then Payday 2 for 505 Games in 2013, and it was really the Payday 2 point that everything fell apart, honestly. Then they made Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons in 2013, and they literally have not made any other game since Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons since for 5 years than Overkill's The Walking Dead. So while The Walking Dead did certainly hurt them, I don't really even consider Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons to be a financial success. Ooh, a legendary. I love legendaries. Can we get an epic too? No, but we can get a rare.
Golden legendary.
Golden legendary, which means if I turned it into dust, it would probably be worth quite a bit of stuff. Like, I doubt I would ever even get my main account to all golden versions of the cards. Not without putting a lot of money into it. Alright. So, if we disenchant this, there's 9 cards that were duplicates. Which then means there's only this one card. Only that one legendary card. Which, if I disenchant this, it goes down to 1600 dust, which then it would cost 1600 dust to make this. So it is better to just hold on to this golden legendary. If it gets nerfed and gets turned into 3200 dust, okay, at that point that makes sense, and then maybe I could craft one of these and some other legendary. But that's only if it gets nerfed, and I'm not sure if it will. Now we need to win 3 games with a priest or warlock. So not too bad there. Priest or warlock. We haven't played warlock in a while, so we'll do that. So yeah, Starbreeze Studios, not a big loss in my book as far as a game developer. The concept of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, I think it fell apart even in the first game. It was kind of interesting in a storytelling aesthetic to control 2 characters at the same time on the screen, but it's not really a smart move in general for that to ever be done again. It's kind of like an art piece where somebody does something very avant-garde and off the wall. It's cool for one really good artist to do something off the wall. It's ridiculous for everybody to copy it and try and do it all the time, to the point where it becomes cliche. Moving on, Gamasutra has an article. Funcom enters a partnership with Legendary to create Dune games. Now, the thing about Dune, as I understand it, is there are fans of Dune, and then there's everybody else in the world, and there's about a mile of sand in between the two. So, yeah, if you're a big fan of the books, you might be interested in playing the games. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if you're a big fan of Dune books, you might not particularly be a video game player. Like, I would not be surprised if Dune fans lean very heavily into, I don't do computer stuff, I don't play video games, I don't do anything electronic, I just read books. I've been told by a Dune fan in particular that Dune is just kind of this impossible to recreate in any other medium story, which is slightly questionable in the realm of video games. It's a lot more believable in the realm of the previous attempts to make Dune movies. But I'm not sure I 100% believe that really is the case. You probably could do a fine series of Dune games. How much of a video game does it really play like? Following the story very strictly, I don't know. How much of a video game could you turn it into and change the story, which would then irritate the Dune fans? I don't know. Like, even if you're changing just dialogue and doing something along a Telltale style of game, you're probably gonna irritate people. So my best guess, on something like that would be that you would set it in the Dune universe, but not around any of the characters mentioned in the book. That would be what I would suspect would be the smart way to make a Dune series of games. One of the games is supposedly going to be an open world multiplayer game. And it's a 6-year deal for a minimum of 3 Dune games on PC and consoles. I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to boil down to actually no games getting made at all, but somebody holds the license and pays some default fee, or the company goes bankrupt before they have to pay a default fee for not actually delivering on any games. Because that's really where I would expect it to go, is that somebody's going to try really hard to make a Dune game and it's just not going to happen. And then after about a third, after 2 years in, you realize this isn't going to happen. You're going to just pretend like you're making content when you really aren't. And just try to stretch for time and pay the CEO as much, give the CEO a golden parachute, and then have the company go bankrupt before that 6-year deal is done. Moving on, Tech Raptor has an article. Good Old Games lays off of about a dozen employees. Now, to me, this seems kind of ridiculous that, like, 2 years ago you had The Witcher 3, the most popular, most successful game of the year, come out from CD Projekt Red, and Good Old Games is owned by CD Projekt Red. I ended up getting Witcher 3 on Good Old Games because it was free with purchase of a video card, and you didn't get a choice to get it on the preferred platform of Steam, which inherently means eventually I'm just going to buy it on Steam a second time. Although I guess I didn't really pay for it the first time. I didn't realize I had a win streak bonus. So it's ridiculous after 2 years of success that they're now quietly letting go about a dozen employees. Is there really anything that can be said? There's a quote, "We were told it's a financial decision."
You asked for it.
That's kind of all she can really take from it. It's like, yeah, it was a financial decision to lay off people. Who would have be surprised on that? Like, what are the other options? It was a personal decision. We hated these dozen employees, so we fired them for that reason. Or we laid them off. So yeah, that just seems like there's CD Projekt Red being CD Projekt Red, and it's important to remember that CD Projekt Red is really not any better than EA or Activision. Like, they're pulling the same shenanigans as far as being a bad AAA game developer. They just managed to get a lot of love, and hey, even EA and Activision, I bet at one point had a lot of love until all the horror stories got put out. It opens an interesting argument about, is the mainstream video game media actually intentionally turning public opinion against video game companies? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, most of the stories that have been said as far as EA and Activision are true, so it's really more of a case of the companies themselves acting badly and getting caught acting badly. I'm in a weird position here. I opened a picture that says Samurai Showdown, and that's all it says. It's just a picture. So, okay, here we go. SNK Global tweeted, Samurai Showdown will be playable for the first time on it's SHODOWN, so it's misspelled. It's not Showdown, it's Showdown. Anyways, it'll be playable for the first time at PAX East 2019. I don't know if that's really news or anything. Yeah, I know how to spell Showdown. It's SHOWDON is how you spell Showdown. I'm questioning myself mentally. It's like, wait a minute, am I misspelling this or are they? And they are. It has an official EVO 2019 title also. So it's going to be at EVO 2019. I think we have the full lineup that we'll talk about for EVO 2019. Here's what it looks like. So it's a 2.5D, 3D, well, 2.5D fighting game with swords, which is what the Samurai Showdown games have always been. It, I suppose, has been a long time since there has been a Samurai Showdown game.
So many possibilities.
So, that might interest people. I really don't have an idea about how much, how popular the SNK games were. Like they could have been really popular in arcades and such in bigger cities, but I barely ever even ran into them in the few arcades that I went into in my childhood. Alright, so we have to kind of just leave it at that.
Mushroom power.
I'm still trying to win victories. Next, Gamatsu has an article, Tokyo Chronos Kiyosuke Sakurai trailer. This is a visual novel, so with a new trailer. Let's see. Tokyo Chronos is due out for Oculus and Steam VR on March 20th and PlayStation VR in July. Interesting. A VR visual novel.
Many possibilities.
Let's just draw as many cards as possible. And I'll skip through this trailer and see if I can give any idea about what Tokyo Chronos is about. It doesn't seem like much. But with a name like Tokyo Chronos, I imagine it's some kind of time travel, maybe mystery game. Let's see.
So many possibilities.
Yeah. The description says it's like the protagonist wakes up in a world where everything is frozen. There we go. Like time is frozen. Not frozen in ice, frozen. Bonus streak. Hey, look at that. We made it to rank 17. We should continue the streak here. I guess if you get a really good streak going, you can probably move up the ranks pretty fast. Next we have a game on Steam called Predestination. It looks like a real-time strategy game. It's already at mixed reviews. Also, it's one of these space-looking games which are not my thing. The polish on the visual quality is not terrible. Like, this doesn't look like total garbage. It's $19.79 discounted Full audio English. It's a turn-based sci-fi 4X game. Even one of these days I'll remember what the 4X's stand for. It's like expand, exterminate, exploration, and something else economic-wise. Most of the words don't even start with X, or any of them do. So it would be better described as 4EX games. Let's see. Next, Gematsu has an article, EVO 2019 title lineup announced. So we can spotlight this. These are the logos for the games. Let's see if I can read them all. I can't read this. Let's see. This is probably Blaze Blue, but I'm not sure. Yeah, Blaze Blue, Cross Tag Battle for the PS4, Dragon Ball Fighters for the PS4, Mortal Kombat 11 for the PS4. Notice these will all be in PS4 or Nintendo Switch, because it's not going to be Xbox at EVO. Almost certainly. Samurai Showdown or Showdown for the PS4, Soul Calibur 6, Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, Smash Brothers Ultimate, Taken 7, and Under Night in Birth EX latest PS4. That's what this logo here is. This is Blaze Blue. Let's see. There, went too long. So, let's see. We don't have a Dead or Alive airing on this. And you don't have kind of anything else. Are these the best fighting games? Is this really the standard that I should follow if I was to get into fighting games? Because if I was to do that, then that breaks it down to, should I play Soul Calibur, or should I play Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, or should I play Tekken 7? And then the others kind of fall apart. Like, I don't know why even Mortal Kombat 11 is in that listing. Frankly. EVO 2019 will take place in Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas from August 2nd to August 4th. Oh, it's not in Japan. I thought it was. I guess, though, there's probably a lot of Asian, not even just Japanese, but Asian people that compete at EVO, and I bet worldwide you'll see that the PlayStation 4 is way better adopted for fighting games than the Xbox would be. I guess, yeah. I guess if the most popular games are fighting games, or the games fought at EVO, then if I was to ever play fighting games and review them, I should probably focus on the most popular ones. Although there will be some that I'll approach as, hey, look at this weird fighting game series. But I'm not sure when would be the appropriate time to play the weird fighting games. Probably at the beginning, because I imagine I'll start off terrible at fighting games and get slightly better, but never get to a level of being actually a professional or good at fighting games. And there is definitely a concern in fighting games where I don't want to get on a track or a train where every year I'm feeling the need to buy the newest version of a fighting game. I don't think I'd want to cover that many. I don't think I'd want to play that many. Moving on, we have a game, a Gematsu article. Let's see. It's Mujutsu Kai to Oji-sama Flower and Snow for Nintendo Switch launches May 30th in Japan. Includes the original game and the Snowblade fan disc. I've never heard of this game, so I imagine this is not coming to the West. It's from Idea Factory, so I kind of know that publisher. It's a visual novel, of course. So, this is yet another story I guess you use to point out that visual novels are growing in popularity for the Switch. There we go. So I'll skip around this trailer and see if this visual novel looks like anything of interest. I'm seeing a bunch of guy characters, so this feels like it's one of those games where you play as the female or the male lead who is looking for a male suitor. Yeah, that's very much what this feels like. Yeah, most of the time you're playing as a female lead looking for a male suitor, but the lead is often faceless, so you can fan fiction it as much as you want. We keep the train going. We keep the streak going here. There's no reason not to. So as long as we continue to get victories, we'll continue to play as the Warlock, even if we don't have any daily quests. Let's see if we can get up to rank 15, rank 14, rank 10, rank 11. If I just started next month, which, what is today's day? I don't even think I announced it. Today is February the 27th. So if I start next month and I'm at rank 12 instead of rank 20, with my level of play, there's a chance that helps things and improves things. Alright. Next we have a game on Steam called Dino Tour VR. This looks a little rough. The dinosaur looks fine, it's the things around it. The buildings and feeding dinosaurs. I certainly kind of understand what they're trying to do. This is free to play, so I guess the price is right. And it's English and Korean. See, well, I guess the idea here was to either make something that wasn't copyrighted, or make something that was specifically sellable to like museums, because I bet there was a large push at some point. A lot of people were selling the idea that museums and possibly even schools would buy VR headsets and have their students looking at things like that. At this level, that's kind of obviously not the case. Schools are not, particularly in the United States, are not going to have the budget or concern to buy a $400 or $500 VR headset that kids could break day one. And the level of age that a kid would be at where they were interested in dinosaurs is so low, there's that extreme danger of them breaking their headsets. So yeah, it makes some sense, but not enough sense. Let me try. I don't usually follow this website called Hardcore Gamer, which is just hardcoregamer.com. Interesting. But apparently Nicholas, the publisher, retweeted their review of this game I haven't heard of, so I'm mostly looking at this from the perspective of what is this game? Let's So we have review. Did I do one peek? Remy Lore Lost Girl in the Lands of Lore. It's a Switch game. Interesting, and it has the ESRB, so it apparently came out for PC, PS4, Switch, February 26th. I saw a dungeon crawler game where you had a book talking to you, but I don't think it was this game. It's not like that concept is that unique, but apparently they gave it a 4 out of 5 as a reviewer.
So many possibilities.
Discuss. Interesting. Yeah. I've thought about having a website for my own content, just for redundancy's sake, more than anything else. And I'm not sure what it really would add, so that's why I really haven't gone forward with it. Like, doesn't add anything to have a secondary place where people can put comments. I'm not sure it really does. So, yeah. And basically I would need a website that just automatically pulled all the information from my YouTube videos and put it on the website automatically. And I'm not sure why anybody would really want to go to a dedicated website to one YouTube content creator's videos. It would be things like this has been done in the past, back in the day, where like that's kind of what Channel Awesome was trying to do, is that they had this website that promoted several different content creators who are just putting videos on YouTube, and it kind of made sense then, but now it doesn't. And like College Humors is trying their service Dropout, and Good Mythical Morning is trying their service, which is called the Mythical Society. So there's been several attempts to revive that idea, but I'm not sure any of it really works. Like, I couldn't see myself as a consumer of video content going to a third-party website. Although I do follow RSS blogs, which are basically websites that sometimes just link back to content. Like, it really has to be something like Reddit. Alright, well, I'm a little uncertain if I lost 2 more stars and fell back down to rank 18, whether I would start next month at rank 16 or 20, or like for a brief time it was as high as you go determines how far down you fall, but it really couldn't be that case. So I don't want to go any further. The train is broken. This is also a good enough place to end this recording. So, well, stay tuned if you're watching live. Otherwise, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.